Oral sex, that's another really popular activity when the mouth meets up with the genitals and gives them a good time. Oral sex is one of those things that tends to get built up by a lot of people who partake in it, believing it to be much kind of harder or difficult than it actually is. But I mean, oral sex is really 90% communication. You know, you got to handle it like Facebook, like updates all the time.
Here are my tips for oral vaginal stimulation. Begin by caressing the body all over. And as you get lower, remember that circles are always a good thing, and for God's sake, use a flat tongue. Otherwise it's too pointy.
So giving tips on blowjobs is pretty difficult because really I think you learn through the process. So just relax and be open to direction from your partner, and definitely don't overthink it.
Well, guys really seem to like it when I do this.
There isn't a right or wrong way to have sex. There are some positions and techniques that work better than others, but the most important ingredients for good sex is just relaxing and letting yourself go.
Or a penis and a vagina.
Sex can be wild and energetic.
Or soft and cuddly. The slightest movements can have a very powerful effect.
The best kind of sex is spontaneous.
A lot depends on your flexibility and imagination. Once you're more sexually experienced, you'll figure out what works best for you and your partner. But most importantly, sex should always be consensual. The best way to ensure this is to communicate before and during sex. For example, is it okay if I touch you right here? Can I put my penis in here? Do you like that? Can I stroke your ... Do you like it when I put mine in yours? Yeah.
A simple and easy way to make sex run more smoothly, no pun intended, is to use lube. Not only does lube take the pressure off of the vagina to produce an adequate amount of vaginal fluid, which it probably isn't going to do on its own, it also allows for less friction during the actual act of intercourse. And less friction means your condom is less likely to break, and you are more likely to have more fun.
Anal sex! Anal sex has developed a bad reputation, but really there's nothing abnormal about it. In fact, couples of all sexual orientations partake in the ambrosia that is anal sex.
I could wax poetic about sodomy for hours.
The first thing you need to remember before you start the journey into the anus is to always wear a condom. It'll protect you against STIs. Also, you should always remember to change a condom each time you switch orifices. What's an orifice? Is that where you work? Is that like the orifice? Yeah? You may experience some discomfort the first few times you have anal penetration, but always remember to take it slow and always communicate with your partner if you have one.
For dudes, the great thing about anal sex is that they have a prostate, which can be stimulated through penetration, and it feels just like heaven. The prostate is the male version of
the G-spot, which can also be stimulated through anal penetration.
The G-spot is a wonderful little area inside the vagina that you will have to search for, but the search is worth it. If you find the G-spot, you could even experience female ejaculation.
Female ejaculation? It's kind of like wetting the bed, except in a really hot way.
No matter what kind of sex you're having, or with who, you're going to need to have a few tricks up your sleeve. So here are a few interesting sex positions to get you started.
Well, there's the wild rodeo.
The kangaroo shuffle.
The lock and load.
Cowgirl. Reverse cowgirl. The Betty Rocker.
The swan experience. Doggy style. The Russian ballerina.
Scissoring. The Cuban cradle.
The jackhammer. Good old missionary.
Yes. It hurt. Bad. Real bad. I'm I'm never doing it again.
Well, like, to the mall? Because, I mean, Claire's has really good stuff now, but that was, like, when I was 7. But now I like Forever 21. They have really good stuff. I mean, but the mall's fun.
My first time was pretty uneventful. It took place in a basement, and it wasn't really romantic or exciting, but it didn't hurt, so it wasn't an awful experience either. It was just kind of like, well, that's it.
It was like, well, if you were to imagine having a pin shoved into you and then stretching out the wound.
The only thing that was scary about my first time was that he asked me if I wanted to be on top, and I said, no way, I want you to be in charge.
Jeez Louise. My boyfriend had a 1-inch penis. So as you can imagine, it didn't hurt too much. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember it going in.
I was going to have sex, but the guy couldn't get hard.
Yes.
I thought classical music was going to play and the lights were going to dim and my makeup wasn't going to get messed up. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to get into my mother's romance novels. I'm ashamed to say it, but I did. And she kept him under her bed. And one day I went in and read a few pages. And it talked a lot about members engorging and throbbing. And sadly, when the time came, that was not my experience. Not at all.
No, they don't ruin the mood. I mean, who doesn't love the smell of fresh latex?
I would say that they can ruin the mood in the sense that the heat of the moment is interrupted for a question like, do you have a condom? But like if you're having sex with somebody for a longer period of time, multiple times is what I mean, it's just kind of a given that you use a condom. It doesn't ruin the mood at all. It's expected and it goes as planned.
I don't really understand why people say that condoms ruin the mood. For me, they only enhance the mood because I know I'm being completely safe.
No, condoms don't ruin the mood. You know what ruins the mood? The clap, also known as gonorrhea.